We had City Connects released this week. In fact, they released today, late yesterday.
Today.
So let's
Late
get
yesterday.
into it.
Yeah, it was late
Let's
yesterday.
talk about
You do the narrative, I'll throw the images up. How about that?
perfect. Throw the first one up there, Brig. So
Huzzah!
first thing first, these are inspired by the Guardians of Traffic statues, which is where the team name comes from, the Cleveland Guardians, and why we call them the Cleveland baseball team as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they went a little radical here, Brig. They decided to stick with the color scheme. Stuck with the red and blue. But they did go just a little bit darker red, a little bit darker blue here.
Yeah.
You notice across the chest there, this is Tristan McKenzie. You see CLE written in, that's Art Deco for those of us who don't know, which is also the bridge's Berea sandstone color. It's not a true white. That is a sandstone color with the CLE. It's meant to look like the statues, the Guardians of Traffic statues. And then you've got the pattern there. It's kind of a silky looking pattern from what it looks like. Like, I don't think the material is actually silky, but it looks a little, it looks like it's not actually silky, but it looks kind of silky based on the pattern that they have on there. It's kind of got some marbling, and it's supposed to mimic the natural wear and tear on the sandstone of the statues over the years, which I think is fascinating that they chose the wear and tear on that of all things for the texture. Do you have the jock tag and the tag there and the back tag there, Brig? Perfect. So the jock tag you can see there on the right on the image says the land, which you would expect from Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers did this for a long time as well with various things. And then on the back of the collar there, on the inside of the collar, it says EST 1901. That was the team's inaugural season, 1901. Yeah. Do we have... There we go. Right, is that what I was looking for? I skipped something. You can kind of see it on this one. Do we have one where we can see the shoulders, Brig?
No, not okay. Better than that.
So there are stripes that go across the shoulders. That's just a callback to teams from the 80s. If you are familiar with Major League, with the Major League movies, you can see those stripes prominently in their uniforms, and they brought them back across the shoulders and down the sides on the stitching there on this City Connect. Let's look at the socks real quick too, because I think the socks are probably the best part of this whole thing. I think that's awesome. So the socks, those are the Guardians of Traffic. That is so cool that they're letting them wear socks with this on it during the game. Like, where is this anywhere? This imaging, where is this anywhere in the Cleveland Guardians logo or whatever arsenal, Brig? Why don't they have this anywhere? That's cool.
Well, I'll tell you where it is. It's on the clip art logo with the wings. That's what you see.
I know, but it's not this.
It's cool. Not this. Yeah, this is cool. Way better. With the baseball bats in hand too, instead of the trucks. Yeah.
That reminds me of that picture you got over your left shoulder there, Brig.
Which one?
The baseball together one, the Lady Liberty.
Oh yeah. The one baseball family. We had this design. This is a custom piece.
Yeah, it's like an OG design.
Yeah.
And then let's look at the hat.
Piping.
Oh, you found the piping. There it is. Perfect. Yeah, that looks very 80s. Yeah, and it goes all the way down the pants too. We couldn't see the pants before, so it goes all the way down the piping on the pants as well. I think that's probably the best touch of this whole thing.
Well, and don't forget that it's like a really intricate braid. It's not just the design in a color block. Let me see. There you can't see it very well there, but that's the whole look with the white pants.
White pants. They get it.
White pants.
They get it.
Okay, talk about the cap.
Okay, the cap. It has a red visor, white field in the front of the crown, blue around the back of the crown. They went back to the old C logo from the Cleveland Indians days, the late Cleveland Indians days, right?
Yeah.
Before they switched over. Actually, no. Is this the same C?
This is the one they're using now.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I was thinking
they kept it, and they specifically kept it to tie the past to the future and the present and the future. They wanted it all coming together.
Yep. Exactly. That's it. Tie the past, the present, the future, everything. And then one thing I did read was that a lot of this was also calling back to the 90s teams, like the Jim Tomei and Kenny Lofton teams of the 90s that were really, really good, which I think is a perfect way to go, because I hated those
Because they
teams
were
despite
really
loving those
good.
guys so much
Yeah.
because they eliminated the Mariners in '95. So I had a lot of
Yeah.
disdain.
Yeah.
So these uniforms will debut this Friday, the 17th, May the 17th, and Cleveland will wear them every Friday home game throughout the rest of the year. What do you think about these overall, Brig?
The red, white, and blue, I love. I think it's the color scheme is executed perfectly. It's not my favorite color scheme for a City Connect, just because we've seen them play with colors in much more radical ways.
Everybody, like a third of the league uses red, white, and blue.
Exactly. So this was an opportunity to do something different. But if you flip it, reverse it, and scratch it, and do whatever kind of Willy Wonka thing you want to it, it will be the only City Connect that retains the red, white, and blue. So I don't know how you want to look at it. To me, though, if you're going to do red, white, and blue, this is a classy way to do it. But that I don't think is the goal of the City Connect. Although maybe it was for them. I don't know. I think the cap is super boring because it's one you could probably find at the team store prior to this or something very close. So I'm really disappointed in what I see with the cap, not because it's poorly executed, but because it's derivative. I wanted something more, I don't know, radical. Wanted something
Right.
more
I
energetic.
still wanted rock and roll, Brig.
See, and I thought the rock and roll was kind of played out. Like, if you'll remember, I think I called for the land across the jersey.
Yeah.
So, and I got it on the jock tag, which is fine. I don't hate the CLE across the chest. I think that's fabulous. I think that's a great decision. I even love the Art Deco design inlaid with the CLE on the front right here. I think that detail is really cool. Plus,
Yeah.
I'm a junkie for 20s and 30s, so that's my thing, right? So, no, I don't hate them. Okay, I don't love them. But they're one of the classier looking City Connects that we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. My big takeaway is that it was safe.
That's a perfect word for it. I
That
think
they
I was
didn't
trying to use too many words to say that.
they didn't go out on a limb with anything. They didn't really take any big risks with anything. They like you said, kept the color scheme when they could have really mixed it up. They could have gone crazy with all kinds of things with, like I said, with the rock and roll and the vest jerseys and whatever I was calling for before at the beginning of the season, where they just were like, what's the team name? The team name is based on an iconic part of the city. Let's just take it and roll with it. And so they took it, they played with it, they were safe with it. I thought the execution was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Art Deco lettering, the texture on the jersey looks cool. Those socks are killer. They look like something that you would buy at like a comic book store.
And that's my issue with them, is that they're too comic booky.
Oh, I love it. See, I think
you love and that's just sensibility differences.
Yeah, and so I think it's awesome, and I absolutely agree with you on the hat. You probably could have bought that 2 or 3 years ago at the team store.
Yeah,
it's almost like they designed the jersey and then they went with they're like, well, let's just stick with white pants, the piping. Oh, we don't have a hat. We got this one. What do you think about this hat?
Make the colors a little darker. Yeah,
yeah.
And now charge $65 instead of $35.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever.
So they could have done more with the hat, although like that is one of. So I don't buy white hats, but I do like them with the white field across the front. So I like the style of the hat. Love it.
That's my jam.
Yeah, for sure. But my only issue with it is that they just didn't take enough risks with it overall, which it probably would have killed them for it if they had. But
we maybe would have. Yeah. You're right. And we recognize the hypocrisy, baseball family. Like, we get it. We know. Yeah. That's why I was so quick to say this is the classiest one we probably will ever see. But still safe.
Yeah.
Elements are boring. It's not all the way bad, though.
I do want to see the risks taken, though. That is the thing. I appreciate the risks they took with the Detroit one. Right?
Yeah.
I appreciate the risks that they took with the Tampa Bay one. My only problem with it was that the pants looked like sweatpants. That was legitimately my only problem with the whole thing.
Right. Lest we forget the Chicago White Sox City Connect uniform.
Radical, and it was radical.
It was fantastic. It
Yeah.
still is fantastic.
One of the best.
And that white pinstripe on a black field, oh, bro, it's got everything. They look like modern day zoot suits.
those up close, like in person? Dude,
Yes.
they look even better in person.
Listen, baseball family, you got to stay tuned because very soon we're going to do a rundown of all the City Connects, and we're just going to have to do a ranking or something because
we will.
Maybe at the end of the season or maybe the end of next season. I don't know.
Yep, we'll get there. We'll have to do it because I think everybody's going to have them by the end of the season, and LA will have to. But anyway, so there's your Cleveland Guardians City Connect uniform.